Welcome to the Chairman's Corner. I'm Carol Bowden, Clerk to the Board of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners, and this is our Chairman, Bill Pate. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
How about these beautiful decorations?
And that's something, somebody's been working hard. Facility's doing a good job here.
They do a wonderful job.
And for everybody coming in to see, you got the whole place is decorated. So.
I have to give a shout out to Noelle Woods, our purchasing manager. She's done a lot of this stuff downstairs. If you haven't seen it, stop by the courthouse. It's absolutely
I should have noticed her fingerprints on this.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Yesterday afternoon,
what an event that was.
The Purple Heart Monument was unveiled yesterday, and well attended and very touching and very appropriate for our veterans in Wayne County.
It really was, and to have Colonel Joe Marm here, who's a Medal of Honor recipient. Every time I see him, I've known the man for 25 years, but every time I see him, it's even more and more special because he's getting older. To have someone of that caliber, that type of American in your presence, it's just beyond special. You
got somebody like that, and it's such a famed background, but yet he farms in the northern part of the county, has a huge hog farm over there.
Exactly.
And you would never know he's just an unassuming kind of person till you really get to talking to him. And he's special.
Sylvania Wilkerson, another person that just, he's a 2-war Purple Heart recipient.
Yeah, we had to correct that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
But I also want to give a huge shout out to the Patriots Coalition, and especially Bill Graham, who was behind this thing all the way. He won't take credit for it, but I'm going to give him the credit for it.
Good, good. He deserves it. And Brian Volk, also want to say something about him because he did an outstanding job with the program yesterday.
Yeah. And he's a Purple Heart recipient. He was at the Cobar Towers when it went down, so he understands.
Yes, he
Anyway,
does.
Let's move on to our agenda.
Yes, we've got a meeting on December 5th. That's next Tuesday, and a lot going on as usual.
Yeah, and in the first meeting in December, we always elect officers. So we'll elect the chair and vice chair. That'll be the first thing that we do, and then of course we move on into our special recognition, and we got some retirements.
We do. We've got retirements again.
One of them.
We'll start with Thane Greenfield, who's actually retiring, get his service weapon and his badge.
I think he's going to be missed.
What a great man.
He certainly is, and he knows how to run that facility over there, and the new one as well.
Yes.
And his shoes are going to be hard to fill. And then I understand Mr. Captain Pennington's retiring again.
Again.
So he retired once, and I guess he's been working part-time.
What is with these people? When I retire, I'm retiring.
Well, I think people who are in law enforcement, they just can't get it out of their blood.
That's true.
And they seem to want to come back to do something to keep their shield.
Well, we're really grateful for them because that leadership is often hard to replace.
Well, better them, than me. I don't know if I'd do that, but
exactly.
they do. We're going to have a public hearing. This is something we've been talking about for some time. We've been looking at our fire departments, and we've already done one consolidation a couple of years back, maybe 3 years ago, actually. And so there'll be a public hearing to the consolidation of Pate Town and Antioch fire districts. This will helps out both areas. More and more, it's harder to find people to volunteer to work as, to be firemen.
Right.
And they do this on their own. They don't get any pay. But there are a lot of regulations or rules that you have to have a certain number of people on your roster. You have to have the right equipment. And by the way, the equipment is very, very expensive.
That is true.
And so by combining their two departments together, they meet the roster requirements. They've got plenty of equipment. And it'll also have an impact on the insurance rates of the people in that district.
And that's in a positive way.
In a positive way. That's exactly right. So I believe in it, and we'll see what the public has to say, but I think it's the right thing to do. And I think you'll see more of this to take place in the future. I really do.
All right, and then we've got some unfinished business. We're going to have a discussion, and this is County Manager George Wood's done a lot of work on this, on the possibility of a 1/4 cent local option sales tax and what that can do to help.
Well, I'm going to kind of move forward to talk about the school, the school mandate to lower the classroom size, which is what's driving these ideas that we have. We got to figure out a way to pay for it. If we were to just increase, property taxes, you have to go up like 5 cents to pay for all this. It's been mandated by the General Assembly. But that's unfair, in my opinion, that you just hit just the people who own property. Everybody should help pay for this, and the sales tax does that. And not only would people who in the county pay for it, people passing through would help pay. And that, I think George told me, would bring in a little bit better than $2 million.
And that's one of the issues. Yeah. I mean, that dollar amount definitely affects.
We've got two major issues here. One is the low wealth, which we're no longer meeting the formula for that, which is going to cost us $2 million a year. That would take care of that.
Right.
We're not at the point that we're going to have to raise on the property tax, and I think that working together with our local legislators to go back to the General Assembly to make sure that they certainly understand the impact this is having on counties.
Right.
Especially, and I said the other day, especially our agribusiness, because they've had some really tough times the last few years. And now, based on the heels of Matthew, you want to check up their taxes on multi-million-dollar equipment. I mean, it's a big, hefty price.
It is, and you're talking about an industry, first of all, the -- industry in Wayne County, and they took a huge hit because of the loss of crops, damage to their property.
And
you're right.
When it hits them, it hits everybody, because they buy clothes, they buy tools, they buy groceries, so it impacts all the economy, not just them. I just wonder if they really understood the impact. When I say they, I'm talking about the General Assembly, and I think specifically the mandate came from out of the Senate. I talked to Kevin Leonard yesterday, who's the director of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, and we're talking about a few strategies we're going to try to go through to try to make sure that we get the word out, and so we can find some ways to move forward without impacting our citizens and taxpayers so heavily, and more to come on that.
Exactly.
But I appreciate George working on this, and the association and the cooperation we have with our school board. That doesn't take place everywhere. I'm telling you, it doesn't.
The relationship that you have with the school board and the superintendent is phenomenal, and that's something that you want to keep doing.
And 2 weeks ago, we tabled there was one request made by Dr. Dunsmore about adding some classrooms on the Meadow Lane School that's going up, being built now. We can get a cheaper price if we go ahead and add a few additional classrooms, which will take some pressure off Spring Creek area. This is something that's going to have to happen sooner or later. I guess the question is, and I've asked George to look in this, how much difference would it cost later as opposed to now? Right. That impacts my decision. So we'll talk about that on Tuesday, I suppose.
There's so much going on with that. And then one thing that's reoccurring is the Advanced Manufacturing Center. You guys have talked a lot about that. That issue is going to come back up in working with the college to have something on campus.
Yes, we've been working on this for quite some time, and I think we've determined that the original idea that we have is probably going to be too expensive. So sometimes you got to, punt, and try over again.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just can't do things that you wanted to do. And so I know that Dr. Walker and George have been working very closely together on this, and I'm pretty sure that the trustees out there are in agreement. As a matter of fact, I think they've already voted on it. I don't know what the vote was. But we'll be talking about it in depth next Tuesday. And this is important. We still need to be competitive in the market with our training with our advanced manufacturing, because big dollars to be earned in that industry, and big manufacturers to come to this area if they had the qualified labor. So we don't need to fall behind. And actually, some counties have already gotten ahead of us, even though it was our idea.
I know.
So that's a little disappointing.
They're watching you guys. You're doing everything right.
But I don't blame them for stealing the idea. I'd have done the same thing too.
All right, and then next, again, it's so hard to believe that this is still going on 14 months after Matthew, the disaster recovery. So this is the CDBG-DR.
And I get confused over all the acronyms. I know what it is, but because I kept asking.
I do know the HMGP is the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program.
Yeah.
So I've got that one down, I think.
But I'm sure that contract's ready to be signed, and
Right, and so you'll talk a little bit more about
Yeah.
that on Tuesday.
We'll let George to discuss it. Actually, Chip will probably come over there and do it because Chip knows more about this than any of us,
What a phenomenal job he's done. Really
without a
proud.
doubt. And let's see what else we got here.
Let's talk about this next item, which I'm very excited about because it means we're getting closer and closer to something very near and dear to you, the Maxwell Center.
Yes, we are. We're getting ready to buy some furniture. Guys, we're closing in on this thing. The superintendent told me that he'll have this thing done before Christmas.
Wow.
And, of course, you got to get all the occupancy stuff done in January. And so staff will start moving over there February 1.
Well, I tell you, the brick paver, commemorative brick paver program is going very well, selling a lot of those. So if you want to get a brick and be in the first 100 to be put in, you need to get up with us very soon or go online to the maxwellcenter.com. Saw that the other day.
Yeah.
The bricks are laid out. It's beautiful. They were pressure washing outside. A lot of finishing touches. So this furniture going in,
Yeah.
I know it's getting you excited.
Well, I know that they've got all the sheetrock up and everything's painted in there, and the ceilings are up. And I hadn't been since they finished all that.
Oh, you need to go.
So
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
y'all just kept me too busy doing other things. Now, one other thing, speaking of the Maxwell Center, we are actively recruiting for people to work for James, the director over there. So those who are interested, please check our website and please apply if you're interested, because we need some people.
And we need good quality people. That's going to be kind of a gem for Wayne County.
It is.
We want folks
we're
that,
gonna choose wisely.
And let me tell you, I'm on my 1-year anniversary working for Wayne County. If you've not considered it, I encourage you to do so. It's a great, great career. So.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, and then we're going to talk about our planning retreat, which we do every year.
The budget planning.
And we'll be doing that in January.
It's hard to believe it's time for that
man,
again.
we just flown through, hadn't we? And then we'll have an update from the Public Affairs Office. I'm sure that video will be just outstanding.
Well, without a doubt, you've got Wayne, Pat, and Bria working on it, so you know it's going to be great.
Yeah, they've been working on a presentation for me to do for the state of the county on the 12th, I believe. And I've already seen part of it. And I was kidding when I says, well, y'all done such a good job, I'm just going to play the video and sit down.
It's not a bad idea.
I said that, but we'll highlight some of the bigger things and go back over that. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think they've got a party right after that too.
Yeah, we've got a whole lot going on.
So if I'm the last person speaking, then I'll just tell them I'm gonna cut it short because I know I'm the one to stand between you and the punch bowl and the cake and everything.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And speaking of parties, the commissioners are going to be a part of the annual Wayne County Employee Christmas Luncheon. That's coming up following the meeting on
That's
Tuesday.
right. Well, not following, probably we'll end up recessing and going over and coming back.
I don't know, maybe if you hurry things along, right?
You know this bunch.
I do. And that pretty much concludes it
Yeah.
as far as what's going on for the
Yeah.
upcoming
Yeah.
week.
All
As
right.
always, a lot happening.
A lot going on.
It is.
Thank you so much for having me again this morning.
Well, thank you very much for being here. And you can watch the Chairman's Corner on Wayne Goldsboro Television Cable, Channel 10 or Channel 99, Friday through Monday at 7:30 a.m., 9 a.m., and 5 p.m. That concludes the Chairman's Corner. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.